If you've ever wondered why schools keep you average, why teachers repeat the same hollow lessons, and why YouTube feeds you distractions instead of power, here's the truth. Real thinking can't be taught safely. It must be endured. What I'm about to show you is a training sequence that bends the brain past its limits. Survive it, and you'll think at a level your teachers couldn't imagine fail. And you won't come back the same. That's why they never told you. That's why you've never seen this. And that's why you're here now. This isn't for everyone. It's 5 drills stacked in order, each harder than the last. By the end, you will not be the same. Choose now. Either watch to the end and submit to the process, or quit this video. Because once you begin, the door behind you closes. The average mind isn't weak because it lacks power. It leaks it. Thoughts split into 10 directions at once, pulled by phones, cravings, chatter, and constant interruption. A distracted brain never gets the chance to reveal what it can do. Every genius in history, Tesla, Einstein, shared one habit: the ability to lock into a problem and refuse escape until the world gave up its secret. That's what the cognitive cage forces you to do. The cage is 20 minutes of psychological imprisonment. 1 chair, 1 page, 1 question. No internet, no noise, no escape. It's uncomfortable, a fight between your hunger for distraction and your potential for genius. The first minutes will feel unbearable. You'll want your phone. You'll shift, snack, search for sound. That's your brain rebelling. Withdrawal from distraction. Most people quit here. That's why they stay average. If you hold, something changes around minute 12. With escape routes cut off, the mind starts to chew the problem. Connections appear where they never did before. Neurons fire along paths you normally never touch. This is insight being born. How to run the cage. 1. Pick one weighty problem. Something that matters. Don't waste this on trivia. 2. Write it at the top of the page and start the clock. 3. For 20 minutes, do nothing but attack the question. Write answers, sub-questions, fragments, wild associations. Do not stop. Do not censor. Do not wait for brilliance. 4. Every time your thoughts wander, mark a single W in the margin and drag yourself back instantly. No shame, no story, just discipline. 5. When the timer ends, count your W's. That number tracks how often your mind betrayed you. Over sessions, it should fall. That's progress. 6. Circle 5 insights that feel different. They won't be polished, but they'll have an edge. Pick one of those for the next drill. Why it works. The cage burns comfort away. The brain adapts under friction, the way muscles grow under strain. After weeks of practice, you'll sit longer, think deeper, and see connections faster. Others will call it talent. It isn't. It's conditioning. Warning: don't hold the cage forever. Used too long, discipline can become obsession. You might circle a problem endlessly, see conspiracies and patterns, or feel paranoia. If that happens, stop. The cage is a tool, not a prison. The point is not to trap yourself. It's to train your mind to bend when others break. Genius isn't a gift. It's the ability to sit alone with a problem until the world is forced to reveal something new. Walk through the cage once, and you'll see how fragile distraction truly is. Walk through the cage enough times, and the mind stops being a restless animal and becomes a weapon, sharpened, caged, then unleashed. Ideas are fragile. Most planning is a house of cards propped up by assumptions nobody ever tested. Geniuses don't fall in love with ideas, they dissect them. Mental surgery is brutal and fast. Take a promising idea, perform a ruthless triage. Find its assumptions, expose the weak tissue, and cut out what would kill it in practice. This isn't analysis for comfort. This is analysis to survive. You will be fast, merciless, and exact. You'll learn to spot the single rotten beam that holds a collapsing roof. Remove that beam, and the structure either clears itself or stands stronger than before. The protocol. Pick the sharpest idea from your cognitive cage, the one that made your chest tighten. Write it at the top of a clean page. Set a hard 60-second timer. Your job in that minute. List every assumption the idea depends on. One short line per assumption. No explanations, no defenses. Just the claims that must be true for the idea to work. When the 60 seconds stop, take exactly 2 minutes to rank those assumptions by kill probability. Which one, if false, collapses the idea instantly? Circle that assumption. That's your surgical cut. Now, design one immediate test you can run within 24 hours to invalidate or support that assumption. Make it concrete, low cost, and high clarity. One email, one tiny experiment, one phone call, one observation. Do it within 24 hours. Repeat the process for your second best idea. 2 60-second dissections. 2 cuts. 2 tests. Record the results. If a test falsifies an assumption, pivot immediately. Repair the idea with a new assumption or shelve it. If it holds, escalate. Run a stronger test or commit resources. Surgery forces speed without illusion. Most teams drown in analysis because they treat assumptions like faith. This method treats them as hypotheses, falsifiable, measurable, disposable. The session's output is simple and brutal. 2 raw assumptions, 2 cut points, and 2 tests scheduled or executed within 24 hours. Each test yields one of 3 outcomes: validate, falsify, or require iteration, and each outcome gives you a clear next step. That clarity is a weapon. The psychological risk cutting assumptions hurts. Attachment to ideas is attachment to identity. Expect cognitive dissonance when an idea you love fails a test. That pain is the training. But know the red line. If you find yourself endlessly re-ranking, rationalizing failed tests, or emotionally doubling down despite clear invalidation, stop. You are defending ego, not truth. Surgery is not cruelty for its own sake. It's mercy to the long game. Do the cut. Run the test. Let reality decide. Before we move on, I launched full programs: 90-day discipline mastery and emotional mastery. They're not pep talks. They're daily protocols that rewire focus, impulse control, and mental strength. If you want real training, join Whisper Student. If you prefer theory and resources, the Power Bundle collects ebooks, audiobooks, and every future release. Links are below. Decide where you want to start. Next drill, the Reverse Prediction Lab. In the last drill, you surgically stripped your best ideas and designed tests. But a cut alone isn't enough. Genius anticipates consequences before they arrive. Every assumption you kept, every test you designed, every idea you protected must now be dragged forward into time. What happens if it works? What happens if it fails? What chain reactions follow? Most people wait for reality to answer. They launch, act, and hope. That's why they stay ordinary. The reverse prediction lab closes the gap. It converts the clarity from mental surgery into foresight. Pick one of the two ideas you cut and tested. Imagine you're about to act. Before you move, write 10 specific outcomes that could occur in the next 24 hours, next week, or next month. Be precise. If you're testing a strategy, outcomes might be no reply, hesitant reply, immediate agreement, delayed excuse, forwarded to someone else. Assign probabilities, numbers, not wishes. When reality unfolds, compare your predictions to what happened. If your 70% outcome occurs, you were aligned. If a 5% event blindsides you, you misread the board. Each mismatch is calibration data. Track it. Over time, you shrink your error. The lab doesn't stop at one cycle. Every time you run mental surgery, drag the survivors into this lab. Test the idea in the world, but predict its path first. This creates a loop. Cage, surgery, prediction. The brain adapts to that loop until foresight becomes instinct. At first, it will feel mechanical, a notebook of probabilities and possible small events. But after weeks of repetition, something strange happens. Your mind begins to see the invisible forces steering outcomes before they hit. That's where power lives.